I'm inside and I saw August Underground's Mordum. It is directed and written by Killjoy, Fred Vogel, Christy Wiles, Jeremy Cruz, and Michael Todd Schneider. If you haven't seen this movie, I will spoil it for you. And this was requested by a Patreon. If you'd like to fast track a movie review, you can do that at patreon.com/ASEPresents. On with the review. This movie starts, we're following Peter Watson on his girlfriend, Krusty, having sex with Krusty's brother, and the brother's name is Maggot. These are some pretty fitting names for this movie. Of course, they break out into an argument, and I'm just thinking, I don't think this movie's going to be as bad as the last one, because it doesn't start with grossness like the other one did. It starts with them arguing, so how bad can this movie possibly be? Oh boy, was I seriously wrong. I was wrong about the tameness of this movie. This movie, in some ways, it doesn't go as hard as the last movie, but in some other ways, it goes even harder. Let me explain. This lovely couple has this dead addict. He overdosed on drugs. It's just in the bottom of their basement. It's gross. It doesn't seem like there's as much feces and urine as the last movie, but wow, it's so gross. I'm just thinking, I freaking hate this movie already. And they're arguing. It actually opens up a world for me. Them arguing totally makes sense. They're the most deranged people, the most terrible people on the freaking planet in this world. Of course they'd be arguing in the most violent way possible. They're just throwing slurs at each other. I'm just like, yeah, it serves y'all right. Y'all are terrible. You guys are a match made in hell. This is a perfect couple for each other. Perfect coupling for each other. You guys deserve to be with each other. Then it takes a turn. She starts cutting her stomach, and the only thing that I could think of, other than, oh, that's gross, is, oh, you're fat. Ugh. I can't decide whether it's worse for this lady to cut herself or to be this overweight and show me. Look, I don't like her, so I'm going to dunk on her in any possible way that I can, including the amount of fatness on her stomach. And also, they kidnap this other, even fatter lady and just start torturing her, start cutting her up, they have her tied up, they start touching her inappropriately, just start masturbating her. Is it masturbation if it's forced? What? This movie is so gross. Look, the last movie, they only covered murder, and they only covered kidnapping a lady and then forcing her to eat her own feces. Ugh. But in this one, there's a lot of rape. I don't like saying that word. It's just such a gross word to say. But that's what happens in this movie, a lot of that. And I'm just like, this lady does not want to be here. And I'm sorry that this lady got involved with this serial killer and this lunatic girlfriend's antics, and it seems like the lunatic girlfriend is actually causing a lot of the torture in this movie. It's not Peter anymore. No, it's not that. It's freaking Krusty to be like, oh, I'm gonna drag a blade across your back. Don't you like that, hon? Huh? Don't you like that? I'm like, no, she clearly doesn't. Why are you asking her these questions? Maybe you should reframe your question to be like, I'm enjoying this. You suck, lady. Haha, you gotta get whatever you deserve. You deserve all this dumbness. Ugh. I was just like, stop it. Stop it, stop it. I don't want to see this happening. And if you thought it couldn't be any worse, wow, let's just cut a winner off. This was hard for me to watch. I don't have a winner of myself, but if you do, you don't want to watch the scene because it shows this guy's wiener get cut off and then Krusty licks it. I'm like, stop! This movie, so hard to watch. I had to pause it several times. I had to just let the rental time run out, and then I had to re-rent it in order to finish watching this movie because I had to take such a long break in between watching this freaking start of the movie and finishing, and I'm just why'd you make this movie? Why did you guys make this movie? So you could show someone torture pornography? This is what this movie is, essentially. This is not the type of movie that I like. And I know there's a third movie within this trilogy. It's a trilogy. Why is it a trilogy? Who is the demographic for this movie? People you want to torture while watching this? Oh, I made this film so I could show you. Oh, look at you. You're disgusted. It's in your brain now. I have nightmares about this movie. Look, it was an entire day between me stopping at when they're cutting the wiener off and then continuing forward with this movie. And that night, I had nightmares. I had a hard time sleeping because this movie's imagery is baked into my brain. I hate this movie so much. It's so bad. I don't know if it's bad. It's got the reaction that it wants, but I just personally hate it so much. Let's get away from the wiener cutting scene. Let's address the elephant in the room. The really fat lady that they kept in a box. I don't know how long they've been keeping her in a box, only a long time. How long is a long time? 6 months? She seems very clean for being in a box for a very long time, but nonetheless, let's just cut her up. Let's get her to the point where we disembowel her, and then Krusty starts to pleasure herself with her hand and also the intestines, and then also let's have sex with the whole. I hate this. Oh man, there's so many genitals being shown in this movie. Did you know this movie has a budget of $300? How much money did they make from this movie? I mean, I guess if you want to prank your friends, you can buy this movie and show them. I don't know how long it would take for them to turn it off. Just turn off the movie. But I had to watch this movie the full way through because this was requested by Patreon. So I endured more torture. I thought that having sex with the opening of a disemboweled woman, having sex with her intestines, I thought that would be bad. No, wait until you see the end of this movie. You won't have to, I already saw it. Let me describe it to you. Look, I like the moments in which they go to fast food restaurants. There's like tiny bits of human moments. Just the tiny bits, maybe 30 seconds, and then they start arguing again. Stop arguing. I mean, I get it. You guys are only arguing because you guys are miserable. You guys are only causing misery, so you guys get what you freaking deserve, okay? Peter's arguing with Maggot. What's your relationship with your sister? Who knew there'd be incest in this movie, but this movie opens up with it. I already mentioned it before, but this is such a strong scene within this movie that I'm just like, stop mentioning it. I don't care. I mean, not that I don't care, it's that I just keep on hearing it and I just want to stop thinking about it. But nope, this movie really forces in your face, that they're brother and sister and they had sex at the beginning of the movie. And so we gotta have a big old conversation, a very loud argument about this. But actually, let's go to my serial killer friends. Like, there's multiple serial killers in one area. How many serial killers are there? Like, statistically, how can you be walking into somebody who was also a serial killer? I guess attract alike, I guess attracts alike. I don't know what the phrase is. It's usually opposites attract, but they're alike. They're pretty much the same person, so I guess they would bond. What causes a person to serial kill? I'm so interested in their home life before this. I am super duper intrigued by this because what makes a person this terrible of a person? Maybe their parents sucked. Maybe the parents were the worst people in the entire world. Does this cause a serial killer? Like, what causes a serial killer? Let me know in the comments below, guys. I'm freaking dying watching this movie. But anyway, they encounter a serial killer, and that serial killer invites this trio into their shed, and in the shed is a decaying family, including a toddler. RIP that toddler did not deserve any of this. And to make things worse, let's just have you eat that maggot-covered toddler. Well, now we're cannibals? It's really gross. I would never eat a person. Nonetheless, a dead person covered in bugs and fly larvae. Is that what a maggot is? A fly larva? Of course, I guess these three can be influenced because they kidnap a family and torture them. They first kill the father. I'm glad they killed the father because he doesn't have to witness what they do next. Killing the mother. Well, actually, they tortured the mother and they have sex with the child. Why am I saying this? What is the point of this movie existing? Why did you want this movie to be made? Someone please let me know. Someone contact whoever the frick made these movies. I saw them at the beginning of the movie. Oh my goodness, Fred Vogel. Why did you do this? And the others. You were part of the production of the last movie too. Stop with this movie existing. Why did you need to make this movie? What is the point of this movie? It's for the strong reaction. You wanted a strong reaction, now you got it. Congratulations, you made somebody's life terrible and existence terrible because of the existence of this movie and having to watch now to my brain, and sometimes I get nightmares about it. You, and I don't say this about many people who make terrible movies, because there could be some reason why the movie's bad, but you, the freaking production team of this movie, you are a terrible person. You shouldn't have made this movie. It absolutely is god awful. The movie ends with them having an argument. Oh, wow, they're having an argument. Oh, wow, who knew they would have an argument? The most miserable people in the world, causing the most misery in the world, are having a big flamboyant argument. And then it cuts to static, and also a cat's killing a mouse. That's the most enjoyable part of this movie, is seeing that cat kill that mouse. And I'm like, hey, at least it's the circle of life. There's the food pyramid. Jeez. This movie, I know there's one more after this. I hope there's not another movie like this because it's so god-awful and violent, needlessly violent. I don't get it at all. Please let me know why you made this movie, or else I'm going to have to... Well, I'm not going to do anything, actually. I'm just going to live with the fact that I watched this movie. I just want to know why you created this. So anyway, this movie is awful. Look, I like the camera holding, the process of holding the camera, recording everything, the god-awful things only hell would accept. I like that part. I like the filming style. I don't know what could cost $300. I guess the camera could, and also renting a place, maybe renting a shed, maybe paying off the extras. Man, that's really cheap, man. That's so incredibly cheap to make this movie. Man, I don't think I could be paid to be in this movie. I don't think I could. I wouldn't want to. I just think this is morally terrible. It's a terrible movie. I would feel bad for being in this movie, for helping contribute to this movie existing. And because of this movie, I feel like it shouldn't exist, although it does beg the question. Is this movie as bad as the first one? It really is. It really is as bad as the first one. It goes a little bit hardcore, more hardcore, and the ending really grosses me out. Like, this entire movie is gross, but like, I felt nauseous watching the final scene. I was like, ew! So I gotta give this movie a solid, 2.5 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another one. The platform really likes that. If you want to fast track a movie review, you can do that for $20 Redinos. Patreon.com/ASEPresents. And if you'd like to help support the daily grind of all them daily movie reviews, go to Linktree, find the way you can help support the daily grind of all them daily movie reviews. So you can go here. And until next time, mint salad sauce. See you later, my salad croutons and bacon bits. And remember, never ever fall for the trap of, hey, do you want to watch August Underground? No, never. You know better. You know better. If you saw this entire review and saw my previous review, you know better. You don't need those images in your brain. All right, bye-bye.